you go anywhere along this valley, you'll find pit home indentations in the ground where people used to live along the river. All the way up to Valemount and Blue River, like that's how far our territory stretches, right up to Jasper, so, and down to McClure. So a huge territory. And we're just learning to call that home again because it was taken away from us and we were put on this small little community here.
Historically, Simpcw families lived in pit homes, and there would be multiple families living in one large pit home together. So you would have intergenerational living, you would have folks who were siblings but had then grown up and had their own children still living together. So you had much more of a communal approach to living than we do now.
A lot of people moved away because the community wasn't healthy. And I think our community has gotten way more healthier lately. And I think them wanting to come back here and be part of it. It wasn't a place where they wanted to be before. We have 700 and something odd members, and over half of them live out of community. So some of them want to move back.
We knew we desperately needed housing. We haven't built new housing in the community in a number of years. Our rental wait list was exceedingly long. We had about 30 people on the rental wait list who were waiting for housing. And we needed to build a lot more housing and a lot denser housing than we've ever built before.
Chu Chua has a lot of strong people in the community. They voice their concerns. Chief and Council makes every effort to listen to them and to implement their ideas. Council heard their concerns. We need housing around the community, and we made it happen.
We're running out of developable land. Everything's either a sensitive slope hazard or it's in the floodplain. We can't keep developing the way that we have been in the past, and I think lots of communities are in that same boat. They're realizing that we've kind of hit the maximum of doing things the way that we always do. We have to start changing the way that we do it.
We have a great project going on in Chu Chua with Simpcw First Nation, so we're working really closely together. Kind of came up with a concept to chase some federal funding together, and we developed and designed 5 triplexes, kind of designed in a horseshoe shape, right, to allow communal living.
The way this was designed was to bring the community together, so we don't have buildings back into each other. Everything is open. You open to a central location where people can get together and socialize. So that's an important aspect of this project.
And it's really going to foster that connection and interaction between people. So we're super excited to see what it's going to all look like when it's done and the way that it's going to create community and create interaction in that neighborhood.
It's a very special project to us because obviously our facility is located on a traditional territory of the Simpcw First Nation. And so for us to be able to do this rapid housing project for them is just wonderful.
So we actually did lots of work with the community and the Culture and Language Department as well, just to come up with the exterior colors for each of the buildings. So they're all a bit of a different color, right? And they're supposed to be kind of vibrant and bring the greens and reds to the community. But we also added some timber frames to the exterior of the buildings. And the timber frames are supposed to represent kind of what their traditional pit home structures look like.
So it's interesting to be able to use this project to kind of get back to some of those traditional living styles, right?
It's the Simpcw culture to have everyone congregating in one single location.
As a planner, generally when we look at big multi-unit housing developments, they're for-profit developments. You have a developer coming to the government looking to build some very expensive, often, units. So it was really interesting to be able to work on a project that's going to be entirely affordable. There's no profit associated with the project, but it's still a very large multi-unit development. Something that I never thought I would get to be involved in as a planner.
What's really important about this particular project is that it's a quality home. So some of the issues we have in the housing crisis are actually the quality of housing inventory. So it's really important to start building homes that are forever homes, that aren't these cheap homes that you bring in that will have water damage within 10 years. Simpcw and us have really gone out for everything. So we have quite an energy efficient design, right? So our wall assembly, for anyone who knows this, it's an R48 wall assembly. So it's very well insulated. So that paired with a good mechanical system, we're chasing step code 5. You know, we upgraded to those triple pane windows as well, so this building should be 80% more efficient on the community's hydro bills in addition.
I'm personally very passionate about this because I believe that even though it is rapid housing or affordable housing, there are options out there that are still cost attractive, still fast, but also offer a sustainable approach.
So what we're trying to do is build some quality homes that will last forever.
We told them, this is where we want to build. They went out and they sourced everything else, and yeah, it's really hands off, and it's good. It's good for Indigenous communities to have that.
Who's excited to see some robots?
I'm going to be leading one group. This is Steve, he's our plant manager. He's going to be leading the other group. And then Justin, he's going to take the third group. We built the building in 3-dimensional on a computer. So it's going to pick up a sheet, it's going to pick it up, and it'll put it on that white table, which is the reference table, which gives it absolute referencing. The robot will come in, it'll place the sheet on the wall, and then robot 2 will start nailing. After they nail it, they would also put down their nail guns, and then they would router the windows and the doors at the same time. You can't replace people with machines. You can only replace processes with machines.
Robot 1 was my favorite.
So I think more than just the fact that Paradigm produces a unique and well-built product, they also provide all those other services that you need to do a development like this. It's not just, we're building it and you guys have to figure out everything else, because if that was the case, we as Simpcw wouldn't be able to build these units. We don't have the capacity to manage that kind of a project internally, and Paradigm has provided all of those resources that we needed to make it happen.
I think we are the front runners in BC to kind of package the whole solution into one box, from sustainability to local employment to addressing a need in housing in a very fast manner, while providing a long-term sustainable solution.
This was a big 15-unit project that took care of 15 of our families that want to move back, and the impact is life-changing. A lot of people nowadays can't afford to live in the cities, so they want to come home where there's support, where there's family right around them, and they can have a network to live a good life in Chu Chua. Discussion around net zero and reducing electricity bills is so big for our communities, because it's something we rely on, power, and if we can reduce those bills for all of our families, the better off we are.
It's a bit of a circle, you know. I need employees need housing. I can't have one without the other, and this fills the gap.
We're very proud to have been part of this project and been able to fund it. And as was just noted, this project did stand out when we got applied.
And it's partnerships and building relationships and making sure that you work together. We're all stronger working together, and this project shows that.